3
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Those who are in Washington State, in Vancouver, Canada, and also in Thailand, especially south of Thailand, who are regular fans of the Dhamma Life program of Atam in Washington State, and also Wat Putta Nanthapanyaram in Vancouver, Canada. And welcome to the program of the Dhamma for Life today. The topic that I have brought today is about people and life, and what is the signature of the good person, or we call it the Satta Burut in Pali. Let's talk about the people and life, the one who are having a confidence or a confident one that can be considered as the perfect one. Through conducting his impeccably and living the most benefit of birth into this world, a person can attain such a confidence in his life that has no fear, has nothing to be fear, not even death. This is living is victoriously making a success of life. Such a person is one who has attained the objective of living and leading his life according to the following principles. So let's check those principles, what they are. The first one, stealing one life to its object. He conduct his life towards the realization of three benefits, which are the objective of his life, known as the three atta. First one is called the Titatamikata, the temporal objective or the present benefit, the important kinds beings. By having a good health, strong body, freedom from a disease, very pleasant life, appearance, such longevity. Having work and income, wealth derived from the honest livelihood, and being economically self-reliant. Having a good status, having rank, honor, friendship, and also a social acceptance. Having a happy family, making one's family worthy of respect. All of this above should be righteously obtained and used or treated so as to produce the rightful benefit and happiness both for oneself and for others. And then the second one is, we call it Samprayikata, the spiritual objective or the further benefit that gives the value and meaning of life, and which leading to the profound internal happiness, especially. That is, be warm, deep appreciation and happiness through faith, having an idea, pride in having a clean life, in having done only a good and virtuous action, gratification in a worldwide life in having made a sacrifice and also perform beneficial actions. Having a courage and confidence in having a wisdom in a deal with the problems. When you facing the problem, you really have a great wisdom for the solution, and you can guide yourself to the good destination. A security and the freedom. You have to gain the security for your life as well as a freedom for your own life. Be free from the worry in having performed a good karma, having a really confidence or a guarantee for the future life. And then the next one is a supreme one. We call it the paramatta, the highest objective or the greatest benefit. Having insight into the truth, having penetrated to a nature of life and the world, thereby rendering the mind free. That you have to do the following. One is not shaken or overwhelmed by the change. One is not disappointed or down hatred or being distressed on account of the attachment to the things. One is really secure, calm, clear, and cheerful at all the times. One should live their life and act with the wisdom, which look at the cause and the condition as always. Whenever you want to do anything, you think of the cause and condition that leading to the perfect decision, and of course, approaching to the attaining the good destination. These three levels of the atta or the beneficial or the benefits can be attained on the three fronts that I will explain in detail. The attata, the objective for oneself or one's own benefit. The three levels of the benefit explained above, which one should establish within oneself or develop one's life forward. The paratta is the objective for others or for other people's benefit. For example, the three levels of the benefit explained earlier, which one should help others people successively achieve by inducing and encouraging them to develop their own life. And then the upayata, the mutual objective of benefit to both parties. Yeah, this one, both party, the upayatha, the collective benefit, the happiness, the virtue of the community or the society, that including the environmental conditions or factors, both concrete, such as the forest, river, and road, and the abstract, such as the morality and culture. We should contribute to the creation and conservation of this in order to help both ourselves and others advance to the three levels of the objective that I mentioned above. At the very least, not allowing our own pursuit of the benefit to adversely affect the benefit and well-being of the community. For example, in keeping the discipline among help foster the harmony of the monastic community, which is the atmosphere that help the monks living together on life in confront and growing in their practice towards attaining the highest benefit. We call it paramattha. Maintaining the inner strength. One have the strength that arise from the moral qualities or practice, that is life assurance, known as the four power, or in Pali is pala, which instill such the self-confidence into him, and that is the fear. There will be he will be no fear. The first pala is called the panya pala, the power of the wisdom. He is learned, and he also has a proper and clear knowledge and clear understanding of all matters and all tasks that he must deal with. And ultimately the true nature of life and the world. He does things with the understanding of their reason and also the real nature. The second pala is called viriya pala. That is the power of the effort. He always apply himself to the tasks and duties with the full effort and the perseverance that he does not give up, or he always never become discouraged. And then the third pala is, we call it anavasha pala. Anavasha pala is the power of the integrity, or a power of the purity, that his conduct and works are really honest, clean, pure, and very uncensurable. So that's called anavasha pala. Then the next one is called sankhaha pala. Sankhaha pala is a kind of the benefacting that he helping and supporting the authors and making himself useful to his fellows, and he always acting as the benefactors of the community to gain to share the social benefit, and that approaching together life, the harmonious society. You know, for example, like a government official that might bear in mind these four brief injunction. You have to know your work well, perform your duty well, be honest, and do not neglect the human relations. These are the theme, these are the motto for a good life in the society. And it's become a symbol of a good person in the good society, that appearing in the good society, and try to make himself establishing on a very firm foundation. The life foundation must be installed or establishing a good foundation, so that it's just like a building. You know, when you want to construct the building, you have to first have a very strong foundation of the building, so that it will not be shakable. It will be really firm and strong and very useful for everybody. So from which to grasp the highest success and aspire to without causing the self-delusion, creating opportunities for errors and blemish, or leading to the accumulation of defilements. This can be achieved by practicing according to the principle known as the four inner stronghold, or we call in Pali term as a atithan. It's a strong aspiration, the principle. The first one is panya, using a wisdom. He live his life with always the wisdom and act with the reason. He does not react impulsively or emotionally to the incident that he encountering, or he get carried away by temptation. He always studies the things to know them clearly and penetrate to the reason. He always understood the thing as they are, and ultimately he attaining the truth. So this is because of the panya, or the clear wisdom. The second quality is the satya, the upholding truth. He always having a foundation and maintain, not only having a good foundation or strong foundation, but he always maintain himself firmly in the truth that he has clearly known as, that he has been clearly known and seen with the wisdom. So the satya range from being truthful in speech, being true to the principles, and having the integrity in deeds, mean for the realization, for the highest truth. And then the next quality is a jaka, the fostering, the relinquishment. He always foster or increase his relinquishment to ever greater highest to prevent or restrain himself from the becoming enslaved by any fame, fortune, or even success. For example, that he may acquire which uh, keeping luring him into the attachment, pride, and delusion. He can relinquish whatever he has previously been attached to ranking from the material possession to the mental defilements that is mistaken, false, or the wrong doing, or even the wrong will. And then the next quality is called upasama, calming the mind. He knows how to find the peace inside. He always keep training to be able to overcome the mental defilements, all of defilements, greed, hatred, and delusion that he always overcome. Always keep removing the frustration in all situation and remove on the confusion that will result from them. He always make his mind calm, clear, so that it can experience the taste of the peace. Having known the taste of the happiness that arises from the calm mind, he is not easily infatuated with the material possession, the status, or even the fames. So these are the really the great qualities of life, and it has become a symbol of what I call today as a signature, very important signature of the good people, that is called Satta Burut. When we're talking of the successful life, that refer to a successful ones, that is the life that advanced and very, very successful. That is the one who decide the progress and success in his life, be it in the field of the education, occupation, or even a livelihood, that should be advised to the abide that having the following the principles. The first principle is the principle of the growth. In order to practice according to the teaching of the Buddha that guides life, prosperity, and very eminence, known as the four, we call it the four chakra, the condition that link to the four will that carry a vehicle to the good destination. Let us see what are the four chakra. The first one is we call it Patilup Te Swasa. We have to be able to choose a suitable environment to choose a suitable location in which we are living, we study or work, where there are the people and the environment very conducive to learning and betterment in his life, to pursue of the truth, the virtue and knowledge, and the generation of the goodness and the prosperity. So this called the Pachilup Te Sawasa, the location, the environmental. And the second principle is called Sapulisu Pasaya. We have to try to associate with the good people in order to seek a good association or the alliance with the people who are learned and virtuous, and also who will support one pursuit of the truth, the virtue and the knowledge, and advancements and growth in a rightful way. So this is about the people. The first one is about the location. The second principle is about the people that who we are hanging with, or we call the good association. The next principle is Atta Samma Paniti. By establishing oneself rightly, to establish oneself firmly in the virtue and in the right way of life, in order to establish a clear and a virtuous goal for one life and work, and that can be set oneself resolutely and very firmly on the right path to the goal, never wavering or being negligent. So you take everything into consideration. You become very curious in everything. You never overlook anything. You always look over instead of overlook. This is called the Atta Samma Paniti. The next principle is Buphekata Punyata. Buphekata Punyata is having a good, we call it capital foundation. In some Atthakatha maybe call something different, but what I understood, this principle is called a capital foundation. It's one portion of the capital, one foundation comprise internal qualities such as the intelligence, the aptitude, a healthy body, the others. On the basis of the foundation, by knowing how to rectify or improve oneself, to seek the further knowledge. Why? Because everything is keep on changing. Nothing is stable. Everything is changing. So we have to always be curious, be advancing, be intelligent through the education at all time, so that you can go to the world with the integrity. You can globalize the thing in the world. These qualities are very innate excuse me, and you have to keep yourself be ready to welcome the success, to bring about the welfare and happiness that is to advance to even the greater heights or greater goal. Then the next principle is the principle of the success. By practicing according to the four conditions that lead to the success of any undertaking known as the Ittibata เอาในภาษาไทยเราเรียกอิทธิบาทนะครับอิทธิบาทสี่ the pathway to the success. This is very successful principle. The first one is we known as a Shanta, having the heart of seal, to be taken to do something and to do it for the love of it, to wish to bring and activities to the task to optimal fruition, not simply doing it to get it out of the way or merely for the reward or the material gain, but we do with the love, with the heartful love. The second one is called Viriya, doing with the effort, being a diligent and apply oneself to the task with effort, the full effort, fortitude, patience, or perseverance, not abandoning or becoming a discouraged, but always striving ever onward until success is attained. When after you gain the success. The third one is called Chitta, the committing oneself to the task. In order to establish oneself attention on the task in hand and to do it thoughtfully, mindfully, not allowing the mind to wander around, to apply thoughts to matter very regularly and consistently, and do the task or action devotedly. So this is called Chitta, the full attention, full intention. And the last one is called the Vimamsa. By using or applying the wisdom, the wise investigation, you have a full knowledge of what you are doing. You are analyzing. It's called analytical knowledge of what you are doing, what you are performing, action, speech, or even your own thinking. It become very diligently applies the wisdom, reflection to inspect cause and effect within what one is doing, performing, in order to reflect on the matters. For example, it is pros and cons that gain a shortcoming or the obstruction. This can be achieved by experimenting, planning, evaluating a result, and devising the solution and improvement in order to manage or to maintain even carry out the activities always in hand so as to achieve the better result. So when we apply to the work situation, for example, there are 4 conditions. Maybe in short, he always remember as a love of work, tenacity, dedication, and also the circumspection. The next one we can talk about the condition that effectualizing or approaching the enlightenment. In order to follow the Buddha's example by conducting oneself in accordance with the 2 quality of the enable the Buddha to attain his own enlightenment, what we call it sampoti, that is known as the virtue which is the Buddha himself practiced and saw the benefit out of it, which is called as which we call it asantuttita. Or maybe we call it Pali asantuttita kusalesu dhammesu. That means about the contentment, non-contentment, with the wholesome qualities. That knowing no situation, never having enough of the general virtue or performing a good works. And then the second one we call it the apapavi vanita japatanasmi, by unrelenting effort that can be striving forward constantly, not retreating or refusing to give in or become discouraged in the face of the obstacle or the weariness or the difficulties. So these are all the symbolic quality that one can achieve to the successful life or a destination. And that is can be called as a life that is well found, or a strong foundation of a life, very constructive life. Through abiding by the following principle that I am going to mention, a person can be said to know how to acquire and use wealth. For example, money-wise, to be a good breadwinner, or to have a really established himself and use his wealth beneficially. So he is the one who perform his economic duty properly. The first one is on the left of the seeking or the safeguarding wealth, by practicing according to the principle that leading to the immediate benefit that I already mentioned earlier, or that aids or helping in the attainment of the basic benefit that is known as the Titatham Mikatha Sangwata Nikathamma, that has 4 kinds. And that is the first one is we call it Uttatan Nasampata, endowment of the industry, that he is in energy, very energetic, and apply himself to his duty at all time and making a very honest living. He always trains so to acquire skill and true knowledge. He is widely scrutinized, very analyze things, and always seeking skillful means to manage and conduct his work for the good result. Always learning, always training. And the second one is Arakha Sampata, endowment of the protection. One should know how to protect from the risks, loss, the wealth and the fruit of his labor gained through his own honest effort. Not only a simple effort, but it has to be the honest, very, very honest effort that you have to maintain. We call it alakha sampatan. The next one is we call the kalayana mitta, the association with the good friend, good company, good association. We should always discern which people are worth associating with and which one we should not. We do not associate with the bad people that will lead them downwards, that will going to lead us downwards. We have to associate with the one who lead us upwards, advance up to the advanced level of being. We have to keep always associate with the study, emulate people who are always learning, educating, worthy, capable, honorable, and always endow with the quality that are really helpful to each other or to livelihood. So that's called the Kalayana Mittata. Or maybe we can mention to the noble friends. And the last one is we call it Sammachivata. What is the Sammachivata? It's the balance or the equilibrium stage of life, or we can call as a balanced lifestyle, that one should keep track on his income, track his expenditures, and always live within his means so that he is neither deprived or extravagant and has income left over for saving. You will never be suffer for the material if you having a sammachivata, the equilibrium of life, the balanced life. And we should have practiced this as a common life, a contentment, remember the good example of the contentment is the king, the last king of Thailand. He is very good example of such a good balanced lifestyle. And then we can move up to consideration of the level of the allotting wealth. by having acquired wealth, he knows how to allot it into the four portions accordingly to the principle or for the dividing the wealth known as the four we call in Bali called Pokah Vipak or Pokah Vipaka, and that is in Pali the Buddha said the Ekena Poke Pucheya, that is one portion to be used for supporting himself, supporting ourselves and his dependent, and for the good cause. That is the first portion. Ekena Poke Puncheya. And then the second portion is, we call it Chuvihi Kamang Payo Chaye. Chuvihi Kamang Payo Chaye. There are two portions of it. And that is to be used for the investment. And then the last portion, that is we call in Pali Chatu Tata Yancha Nitapeya. This is one portion. The last portion to be put aside for the future need. I think this one is appear in the Tikha Nikaya. On the level of the using wealth, one should always be borne in mind that we have to acquire or protect in order to keep possession of the wealth for the good purpose of the creating the benefits for both oneself and others. If wealth is not being used to create the benefit, or the possession are not no value or no meaning, then we have to do something else according to the five benefits to be derived from the wealth, reason, noble disciples, which we can hold for acquiring or possessing the wealth. That is called in Pali Potikaya, that we can explain in the Buddha's word. By having a wealth through the sweat of his own brow and the strength of his own arms, honestly and rightfully, and noble disciples, that is supporting himself, his parents, children, wife, dependents, and see to their own comfort. Supporting his friend and associates and see to their comfort. Uses to safeguard his well-being and to make himself secure, free from dangers. Making a sacrifice, that is to give offering and as a support, oblation in the following ways. For example, we call it yatipli, supporting the relative. Atitipli, that is receiving a guest, welcoming a guest. Buppa petapli, making a merit or offering in dedication to the departed one. And then we call it ราชพฤกษ์ or ในภาษาไทยเราเรียกราชพฤกษ์ by supporting the government through the tax, for example. And then the last one, we call it Tevata plea, that is making or offering to the deities that is contribution make in accordance with his faith. When you having a believing or your own faith that there is a Tevata or deities that you have to offer, that means you never be neglecting something around you. The last one for today Dhamma that I like to talk is a support for those monks and priests who are virtuous and free of the heedlessness and indulgence, having used well in his way, even he has been exhausted, he still rests assured that the well has been rightfully used for the beneficial purpose. Always increase in his mind. He can also feel at very easier, therefore he can be free of the remorse in any case. So this is the use of the well through these 5 channels that I mentioned, with a will to enumerating the way in which the wealth should be spent, so that one know how to use it. It is not implied that an equal portion of the wealth should be assigned to each, but moreover, this teaching point out specially to expenditures on as a regular basis. Those who are able to create the further benefit in accordance with the principle of already mentioned, that can live life up to the integrity, and that can be called the further application, we call it Sankhaha Vatu, which we shall come back and talk about it the next time, and that can be called as how to construct the life to be the ideal householder, or we call it the perfect home life, and that we will talk about it next time. And that is and that is everything that I brought and prepared for you guys today. And I will take this opportunity to thank you for everyone who watching this program and supporting us. And I wish everybody can gain some benefit and apply it into your own life in every single minute, so that is called mindfulness, so that you can be safe from the danger and to be free from the danger, and approaching to the good destination of your life, or the highest goal as a nibbana in Buddhism. And I would like to thank again for watching this program. I would like to pass this back to อาจารย์ทวัชชัย please
ย้ำชัดโอเค thank you